VDC. We are here with the Light Garden squad. 3 championships in one season, 3 tiers. Can you believe it? No, I cannot. But you have to because they've done it twice now. I am joined here today with Uklar, Skeptic Cheese, Drillium, and Zoo. One from each winning roster plus the GM because you know you gotta you know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying.
he's
But
a winner.
I was
He got a
also
trophy.
on one of those teams. Okay,
that is
don't just
true. That is
discredit me
true.
like that.
But
He was the
everybody,
breakdown of expert.
welcome to the pod. If you want to say hi, so everybody figures out what voices are, I'll put like a little. This person said hi here and here and here.
Oh yeah.
That was no. You'll see the text.
Oh, you're gonna make like colored subtitles?
No, that's
Yeah.
way too much work.
Oh.
Dude,
Oh
you
my
cannot
God,
top
what
up
do they
one
pay you
every 2 weeks with that, man. That would be intense.
I was going to ask for a yellow color, but it's okay, I guess.
Well,
I'll give you yellow. I'll give you yellow. Only
Makes sense with these,
Skeptic
right?
is the only one who has captions.
Thank you.
Oh, perfect.
he probably needs it to be honest.
What does that mean?
No, you know.
Okay, but let's rip some questions, shall we? Brought you here for a reason. Got to pick your brain a little bit. Uklar, as GM, I guess IGO, if you want to consider yourself a player.
Yeah.
We can start with you. So, like I mentioned before, officially the first franchise in VDC history to have won a championship in all 4 tiers. Finally, it's been done. The success of the franchise greatly rivals that of OS. The only other franchise to have 3 tiers win in the same season. So what makes LG stand apart from every other franchise that has ever been a part of VDC or is currently a part of VDC? And you guys are breaking records. What makes you break all these records?
I'm just him. When it comes to being a GM, when it comes to playing, like you can never count my teams out. But to be quite honest, I think it's just the consistency. Like I've been doing it since season 1, and every season I just learn what not to do. and, and my processes get way more efficient. I have like a clear idea of how I want to build my rosters and what kinds of players I want. And I don't know about other franchises, but like I'm here to win. I'm not here to waste my time just to have some fun. I want to win. And if other franchises don't want it as much as I do, then it is what it is. Also, shout out Skeptic Cheese. Probably the most helpful AGM I've had. Don't tell the other ones. But he put in so much
He's
effort.
talking to you.
That's what you get, defense. That's what you get. Fuck you.
Bro,
You're too busy
Cheese put in
petting your
so much
dog.
effort. It made my life so much easier. Like going into the season, I thought Mythic was a sure win, like guaranteed win. And same with Expert. Apprentice was a nice
Really?
surprise.
I had full trust in my children.
I think
No hope
if I
in
remember right, I think Paco and I put you guys as the #1 team in expert, right, Paco?
You definitely did not.
You definitely
No,
did
we
not.
didn't.
We were like
Mythic,
4,
right?
but
Mythic
I think one of you
maybe
put us
then.
4th and one of you put us 2nd.
I think
Yeah.
I
think
put you
Jordan put us
second.
second.
I think I put
I
you
Yeah.
second.
I had LG first for Mythic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mythic.
Mythic
we were
should
the
have won
same.
last year, but there was a secret agent that wasn't revealed till afterwards in finals.
Yeah.
Gotta watch out for
Uklar
the
knows how to
undercover
draft
agents.
rosters, but he cannot figure out how to pick subs.
Hey man, it's not my fault.
That's tough. That's tough.
What do you mean?
Yeah. The real question is there ever going to be a famine that hits the garden where there's going to be a season with no LG playoff teams? Do you think that'll ever happen?
God, I hope not. I would
I mean,
just.
I didn't
That'd be
expect it
very
to happen with.
uncharacteristic.
I didn't expect it to happen with OS either, but it did.
That's
I mean,
true.
I kind of.
Every
Almost.
Titan falls.
I guess OS did make one. Their apprentice team did sneak into playoffs, but quickly was exited by my good pal, the retired God,
Mhm.
Had to do it to him.
in quick fashion. I think it was like a minute 30 watch or something. But
I think every season I've had an expert team, they missed playoffs once, and that was
I could
season
tell you.
4.
Yeah.
That was season 4.
Season 4. Yep.
Because they griefed on the set every map. They were like 0-9 on that map, but they kept picking it, and they finished like one game outside playoffs, which is
It was
crazy
one.
because
It was.
I
It was
traded up
1
the
and
first.
8. It was 1 and 8,
I
and
drafted the immortal player, and we didn't make playoffs. It's upsetting.
it was 1 and 8, but our win was 13-3. So we were really confident.
Which was the first time. Surely you would learn after the 5th loss, the 6th loss. Nah, just continue to grief me and make me crash out when I watch you.
You weren't there that season, right? I think you were away, so you didn't watch our games.
I was probably stalking your trackers then.
That's why. That's why
all
this
day.
is happening.
Dude, Uklar in the trackers. That's how we found Eon and Nashiro and just everyone. But
hey, he
So-
found the retired God through Brimmy. He said, "What do you think about the retired God?" I'm like, "Yes."
that is true. I forgot about that.
Yeah, what do you think about this breach one trick?
I'm like, "Yes."
Hey, I can play Sage and Viper.
No, you cannot.
Yeah.
This dude
That's-
would try to throw a wall up and plant like in the pixel behind it every time on Icebox, and he's like, "How am I getting
Yeah.
shot?" And it's like there's somebody like
Yeah.
standing on top of his wall staring at him or something, and no one's paying attention.
Those were the days.
Good old LG,
Uh,
man.
Dude, yeah, I know. That
Yeah.
was such a fun roster.
I mean, kind of building off of kind of what we're talking about with, draft success and just kind of like your ideal vision that you kind of have going into each tier and each season. Clearly, you've kind of found a recipe that works for you. You've drafted now 5 MVPs in your time in the VDC as LG
What?
across all tiers. One that is here, one was supposed to be here, but took a cat nap, which is okay. And we've got Zoo in here,
Yinster.
which is even an upgrade in my opinion.
I agree.
So, what helps you identify players with that kind of potential? Like when you're going in a draft, are there people that like you'll sell out your soul to make sure you get them in the draft, or is it kind of like do you spot these things kind of ahead of time, or is it just kind of like, oh, this just really worked out for me, and you didn't expect them to be an MVP caliber player? I mean, I know Cheese back, was it like season 4 or season 3 or something? Absolutely just ran in with that other player and just dominated everybody. For one of your LG teams, I think it was, what
Mhm.
was it, Prospect or Apprentice or something?
No, that was season 3. That was the first time I won.
Yeah, I remember that
Yeah.
happening. Obviously, now Skeptic did the same thing in Expert this season. So what helps you identify those types of talented players? And is it something where you see the MVP potential, or is it just a pleasant surprise when it works out like that?
Well, none of my draft picks are like random. Even when like we get later into the draft, I still pick who I think is the best available or fitting like some certain contingency in case this player I won just fucks off to another country or something. And like when I'm scouting, like the first week of combine, just trying to get as many games as many different players as possible. And then the deeper I go into combines, it's just looking at trackers and targeting players. Like, oh, this person seems like not trash. Let's try and watch them. And then if they pass the eye test, it's like, okay, are they cringe? If they pass the eye test and they're not cringe, then I probably want them.
No, that's fair.
I mean, it's a pretty like basic formula, but I've watched so many combines because I mean I'm there from when it begins to when it ends every day for 7 seasons. So like I can probably watch somebody for
that.
like 5 rounds and determine like I'm interested. Or I just immediately write them off. Do not draft. Go away. You're one on my spreadsheet.
I don't even
That's
want to know
awesome.
what my note was about me when I first joined the league in season 5. Was it? Was it season? Yeah, season 5.
Yeah,
Well,
season 5.
your name baited me. because I was like, oh, Grimmy's in
Oh
the
yeah, he
main.
loves
He's
your
gonna play
name.
Brimstone. I see a little breach in there. No, he comes to the team. He's like, Killjoy only, please.
Then the next
That
season,
was
I'm like,
funny.
Cypher only, please.
Yep. But also, like, I mean, MMR is also like obviously a consideration
Mhm.
Yeah.
because some of these drafts that these other GMs do just blow my mind. Because I'm just like, you can't even make a functioning roster. The numbers just don't compute. They don't math. And like when I'm
Well,
building the team, it's okay. I know these players are returning. I have to build around these parameters,
yeah,
and
and
I just do that.
one thing people get themselves in a lot of trouble too is that they go too high on the MMR and try to get um like 3 really high MMR players and like 2 like 90s, and
Yeah.
if the 90s miss, then it cooks people.
Yeah, no. Like Apprentice this
Shout
season.
out that season 6 LG apprentice roster.
I think Mythic had a lot of room to spare, but that's just because that's just how the tier was.
Yeah,
Apprentice,
the market cap was pretty
yeah,
high there.
Apprentice had like 18 to spare, but then we had to make a late season roster move, and we went down to 1. I think we were for the spare on expert, but we didn't really have high MMR players. We just stacked like in the middle, and then there was me at the bottom.
Yeah. Zoo, what was your MMR this season? Being a prospect?
I think I'm 125.
Yeah, not
right
even
now.
close, buddy.
I don't.
Oh no, 115, 115. My
Say
bad, my
what?
bad, my bad.
I was gonna
115.
say I'm on numbers team, and that didn't sound right.
He
That
was
one
Yeah,
sounds
110,
more.
then he was 110, then he got moved up on the last day, +5.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
that
kept
sounds
farming
about
in
right.
combines, and they keep
Yeah.
moving up.
LG with the
W.
last minute move ups is like
Never before seen.
unbeatable
MMR
duo.
fucking me.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's definitely something that happens with LG teams for sure.
Well, speaking of LG teams, Jerillium, haven't heard much from you today yet.
Mm.
So last season, you had Electron and who was the other one who returned?
Froggy.
Okay.
Froggy,
Yeah.
right? And took it to the grand finals. Didn't get it done. Now you joined the team. All of a sudden, this is a championship roster. Going into this season, did it feel like there was like a chip on your shoulder, or from at least Electron's perspective or Froggy's perspective, like, oh, we should have won last year, let's win this year, or was it just all the fresh blood, like the 3 new players that you got on the team, were just like, yeah, this is just a sheer upgrade, let's just win?
Yeah, so when I joined the team and was kind of getting to know Froggy and Electron, they would kind of talk about like how like we should have been there last season, like we should have won it last season, but all this and this happened. And in my head, I'm just like, all right, well, I know these guys are good. The other teammate, Chig, I've played with him way like before, like years before even VDC. Like it was like we were on like a random team together back when Ascendant had first came out, and then like we didn't talk for a while. We were like we still Discord friends or whatever, but we just like didn't talk or anything. And then just by chance he gets drafted to the same team, so I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. Like I know Chig, I know Electron is going to be good, I know Froggy's going to be good, and then Parkzilla, I get to slowly get to know him more, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna be nice. And so like early on, I was just like, I'm just gonna be that guy to fill in whatever gaps like the team needs. Like my whole mentality is like I go in and I'm just like, all right, team player, what do we need? Do we need me on smokes? Do we need me on flash? Do we need me on like recon? Like what do you need me on? I'm literally gonna fill in any gap that we need, and then just kind of vibe. And that was basically my role like all season. Like I probably played like 12 different characters like throughout the
Yeah.
season.
That's crazy.
And then
Jeez.
Sounds like Uklar.
for real.
I know
But
where
it's-
to spot though.
Right, exactly. And it was like, and then playing last season in expert, it was like when I joined the double taps and they were kind of like they were like bottom of the tier, like they were not doing good. I was like, man, I just gotta come in here, I just gotta bring as much as I can and like try to fill in as like I'm just like I'm like fucking glue, man. I get in there and I just throw some glue around and try to stick it all together, and then try to make a run with what we can. And we ended up going to playoffs like in expert too, even though we got like bombed out. But like still, it's like just trying to join a team and then like just be the glue guy, be like that like Zelsis personality where you're just like you don't take the game like too serious. Like if people make mistakes, you got to understand it's going to happen, and then you're like you talk about it later when it's not, when the emotions aren't high, you know. But like at the time, you just kind of got to laugh it off a little bit and be like, hey man, like it's all good. I watched you raise nade yourself and blow yourself up in U-Haul, but it's fine. Like we go next round. And then like keeping that like mentality, like I think it really helped a lot of like us as a team, and like a lot of the guys like stay like really positive and just vibe, and we owned because of it. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
every team that
That's how you
has,
owned, yeah.
I feel like every team in like VDC, I feel like that wins for the most part isn't maybe necessarily like, in some cases they are the best team, but some cases maybe not. Like I think more cases probably not. I mean like the apprentice team, for example, I'm sure that the vibes there were pretty good. Beat the Titan of High Tide that nobody thought was they were gonna beat. Um,
Yeah.
but like I know it seems like that's like a running trend on LG. I know when I was a player on LG, like all of our teams, no matter how successful or unsuccessful we were, like the vibes were always like immaculate, and so that's why we were always able to
Yeah.
have a chance at playoffs, even if it was like grim or whatever the case may be. It just seems like that's like such a running trend that like the teams that win championships consistently are the teams that have one, two, sometimes three players that like kind of keep those fireballs under check and kind of keep their mental in that right pocket so that they can still perform and not self-destruct on themselves.
Yeah, I mean, uh, that kind of goes back to what Aklar was saying about the vibe check during combines. I mean, you don't pass the check. I mean, you got to pass the vibe check. And some people just don't. You could be cracked. You could be ascendant, maybe even immortal and apprentice, like in last season, for example. And and just not, get drafted by anyone other than MF.
Can I hop in here real quick? Hey,
Absolutely.
Jerillium, I have a question for you.
yeah.
In the off season, when you were a free agent, and you
Mhm.
had this dumb idea about testing your value.
Mhm.
What made you sign with me after saying no to like 5 other teams?
Well, okay, so this is a good question. So every team that had like approached me were just kind of like, "Hey, I heard about this," and then like, "Do you want to join our team?" And like,
No effort.
yeah, there wasn't a ton of effort, and there wasn't like it didn't sound like they had a plan, you know, like in the conversations that I was like having. So I wasn't gonna like change my stance because I was like, what's the like point of like, all right, like I'll just join this team that I don't know like anybody on, like, and like because I'm still kind of new to the VDC like scene and everything, and like so when you had messaged me, I was like, it was kind of like at first it was like, okay, like it's the same spiel I've gotten a few times already. It's like, uh, like, do you want to join the team? Yada yada. I said like, no, I'm gonna go into the draft. I'm gonna like do the experience because at that point it's already random anyways. Like in my mind, so it's like. But then you were like, bro, I have a plan, like where like we can like I know like you showed interest in like the value I could bring to a team just through the like DM conversations, and that like there we had the like you were like we will do have like success with you on the team, like that was like kind of the mindset. And I was like, you know what, like if this person is like going out of their way to like really try to get me on their team, then like like what's like at that point it's like I'd rather join that and know that I'm gonna be in like a good situation no matter what at that point. And so that was kind of where like I was like, okay, I'll switch up my stance and join you guys last second. Even though I denied so many teams, I felt kind of bad. Like I was like, oh man, they're gonna hate. I'm gonna be on hate watch for a while after this.
Seeing the people crash out in general chat after seeing you sign, oh, it felt so good. And
I
honestly,
believe it.
I'm so happy you signed with me because I'm gonna be honest. I thought you were the only path forward. If I could not draft you, I thought it was cooked. I thought so all my plans were just okay. This guy, low MMR, in.
Right. Well, yeah, and my
That's
MMR
awesome.
was like, it was like mid to high expert, but it's because I like of how when I joined VDC, it was like right in the middle or like right after the start of last season. So like the RFA like MMR was weird, and then like so it was like I was like immortal twice and playing with like the plat diamond, and I was like, all right, well, I mean, this is fun. I could just get to fry and have a good time. And then they moved me up like right after the combine, so which I was like, all right, bet let's run it in Mythic, and then ended up working out pretty well. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Nice. Yeah. GMs, prospective GMs, take notes. Okay, that's how you get there.
I should be the
Um,
role model for other GMs.
Exactly.
That's right.
But so to backtrack just a little bit. Speaking of having a chip on your shoulder, right?
Mhm.
So last season, LG Apprentice finished 10th place, which for those of you who don't know, that means last. So
However, asterisk, they had a higher round win percentage than the last playoff team. So who's
that
to say
is
they were
true.
actually
I
last?
think it was like the last 2 or 3 playoff team. Oh wait, playoff team. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
correct.
We lost so many 11-13s that season. It was so criminal, actually.
If you want to know how to lose like a 9-3 advantage or like just lose by 2 rounds, I'm your guy, bro. I'll tell you.
Yeah, I got some tips.
So so Zoo, you also joined this roster with maybe the Yin because I think he was the only returning player having a chip on his shoulder, finishing in last, maybe for a different reason than not being first, coming in second instead. This time, instead of coming in second, the team came in last. What was that like? Did it feel different? Was there something that just like brought some boost of confidence that sent you guys over the top? Like, what happened there?
Honestly, that was the first thing Yin told us when we were all on the call together, is that they came 10th or last place, and as long as we did better than them, we're good. And then a big bonus that
That's
we
good.
had Wander. He said that they needed a good IGO, and me and Wander been playing. We were in the same team in Prospect, and we lost the finals. So we also wanted to win. So we had 3 people that really, they had something to prove, I guess. We
Yeah.
all wanted to win it, and then with Honor and at the time G, they also said that they liked the game, they wanted to win, and we all had like that good chemistry just off the bat.
Yeah, no, oh, you go.
I mean, I'm also kind of curious myself. I remember you whenever we were on LG, were on the prospect team season 6. And I remember Aklar mentioning that you were really good, a really good player when we were watching, I think, your guys' grand finals match in the LG Discord.
Watch party. Yeah.
Where did this glorious run to Ascendant 2 come from a prospect move up? Did you find something like that just what did you
Found
change your
something.
diet? Did you
Something or
change like what you
someone.
drink? I mean, I really need to know because
Eating Wheaties.
I'm an expert player stuck at gold 2. I don't actually play the game hardly anymore, to be fair. But give some tips to a guy that's trying to, get out of plat for once, What's
Spill the
the
tea.
sauce there?
I started honestly playing greedy. Like insta-logged Clove. I didn't realize she was honestly the best comp agent. better than Reina and all the other duelists. She's just so self-efficient. So I think I was plat 2 when the season ended in Prospect. And then from there, I just started insta-locking Clove. And I just got back into Ascendant this season after
He's a
falling
criminal.
off. But yeah, just insta-lock Clove. That's all you need.
Nah, fair enough.
Damn.
Yeah, I guess I'll have to try it. The
I would love to see your Clove, Jordo.
yeah, I'm too passive to play Clove.
You just gotta run it down.
Run
Maybe
it down.
maybe
You should see me on Jet.
whenever Brimmy gets moved down to Apprentice this next season, I'll be able to run it back on Clove. I'll be a Clove only player.
Hell yeah.
Uh-oh, we got a dog cam.
Yeah. So, I forgot that you guys were in the grand finals in Prospect. So I know you mentioned that you had like the chemistry with Wanderer, but did that chemistry with the other two like flourish just as quick as it connected with you two and Yin?
Yeah, it was honestly all really good. We were laughing from the first time we were in the VC.
Yin is a funny guy.
He is. He is. Yeah, and then when Cole joined, he gelled right in. It was just honestly, it was a good team all around.
That is something that I want to come back to, but since there was that roster change like super late in the season, but I gotta let Skeptic on the mic. We gotta get some questions for the reigning MVP
Could be
of
two-time
Expert.
MVP. He was robbed in
Two-time?
Apprentice.
Should have been two.
He should have been. He got robbed by the
Oh.
system, the oligarchy.
The
Messed
good
up.
old
Let's-
oligarchy.
Let's say for the podcast sake, two-time.
Thank you.
It's just like Lewis Hamilton's 8th world title that doesn't exist.
True. It's the same thing.
So Skeptic, you were MVP this season.
Yep.
Actually MVP.
Mhm.
And I guess again on the topic of people finishing last place, Eon finished last place last season on an apprentice roster that on paper looked incredible. So now this season, you have you who finished MVP, Eon who is in talks of getting MVP. What's it like playing alongside another MVP caliber player? And I guess Aklar, I'll also pass it to you after Skeptic, because you played with two MVPs basically, and I want to know what that's like.
I'll also say even Moose was in the
Yeah.
contention for MVP, and
Yeah,
Ghost would have been too if he played the whole season, but he was away half the season.
He was a C tier player.
All
Don't
four
give him
of
too much
us-
credit.
No, Ghost, all four of us could have been MVP, and I think I'm glad you mentioned Eon because I don't think enough people give him credit for being like absolutely insane at the game, and he is so passionate. Like he tilts a lot, but it's because he's so passionate about it. And he works really hard, and he takes criticism on the chin. Like anytime we would tell him to shut up, or like, oh, you did something wrong or something, he would immediately be like, yeah, and then he'll do something better the next day or the next round even. And I remember, I think it was TK and Spans their blog. They were writing
Mm.
that people were having legacy games, and they were kind of referring to Eon having legacy games. But he was doing that consistently throughout the season, and he was doing that on like Fade, Sky, while me and Moose were having like off games or slow starts on Chamber, Jet, like agents that should be fragging. And he was putting up
Yeah.
numbers like 30 kills every other game, which is insane. So
He
he
did that last
he
season.
gelled really well with us, and I think what helped is we loved him molding and tilting. Like every time he would tilt, we would have more fun. I think there was a game where he had to sub out and Fro had to sub in, and Fro is a really good player, but we missed him tilting so much. I think we lost.
I've
what was
never
that,
heard
like,
that before.
I know. That's what I'm saying. But it
Bro,
worked so well.
It's a different
Somehow.
kind of crash out.
We had so much fun from just him tilting. I've never had fun with someone tilting, but
That's crazy.
We had so much fun. And same with Moose. Like Moose is a faceit level 10 player in CS, so he's insane. Like, his aim is insane, and he's selfless in the sense that we told him like, oh, you're playing Omen on split. He was more than ready. He wants to play KJ on Fracture. He doesn't have to like play Duelist, even though he was Duelist major for the majority of the season. So we had three of us, and then Ghosh, who came back after half the season from South America, like he was collecting data or something. I don't know.
Yeah, don't have
Um,
questions about what he was doing in that
Yeah,
continent.
yeah, it's like an alibi, but sure. Um,
That's
Ghosh
oh
is
sorry.
just as insane. Like he had constant clutches if you look at grand finals, and that's the kind of player he is. He plays smokes, which fit in perfectly with us, and
Yeah.
he's just insane. And his are immaculate. So
Yeah,
And
I
it was
And
mean,
easy.
vibes again.
there's
Vibes are
like
such a huge thing.
there's one more player, you know.
Is it? I'm
Uklar,
forgetting someone.
I
That
know
you
Who
that
was
played
that
it?
with.
team was probably
Oh wait,
way
right. Hutler
harder
was on the
to
team. Yeah.
IGL than season 5 of Apprentice for you. Clearly, I mean, I'm sure that
Yeah.
season 5 team was a breeze compared to this one, but from an IGL perspective, taking off your GM hat, like just as another teammate, like
Yeah.
how was that experience like? Was it just super easy just because you had people and every part of the map and every position on the map could absolutely fry? Or was it pretty easy to develop plans for the team and lead the team?
I mean, like the most challenging part of the season, honestly, was just figuring out what our comp should be.
Mm-hmm.
Like we figured out our pro comp instantly, and we all like had this same idea about how to play the game. I've never played with a more disciplined team in my life. Like especially like on people would cry in expert chat about how slow we were playing. Well, we would just default for 10 seconds. They would just int into us.
Yeah, I do
Like
recall
this.
that. Yeah, I had
Yeah.
teammates on my
Yeah.
team that were like, "Oh my
Oh
gosh,
my
this is
god,
so
they play. They
slow."
sit in spawn for a minute. They're
And
so cringe.
and I'm like, that's just the LG way, man. Like I remember how it was whenever I played. I think that's the only reason that I was able to take a map off of you whenever I was IGLing on Lotus, like the first time we played you guys, was literally because I was like, guys, just be disciplined because they're going to try to draw us out. And so we would just hold angles, and somehow we pulled a map off you guys when we didn't think we were going to. And yeah,
Yeah.
it was so funny hearing
Well,
everybody complain like, I never want to play on LG because I just don't want to sit and spawn for 40 seconds or whatever people were saying. And it's like, well, clearly, I was like, you must not like winning trophies then.
well,
You know,
like, no, go ahead.
I was gonna say that it's funny because Mythic LG is like completely the opposite,
Yeah.
and we complain about people sitting in spawn for
Bro,
fucking a
there-
minute.
It's just the
Never
Uklar effect, man. That he's got his style that
Bro.
works.
But like when all these kids just want to run it down because their ADHD can't handle sitting in the spot for 10 seconds, it's like, okay, give us the free kills. Thank you very much. And also like teams let us play Lotus and Pearl the entire season. And Lotus, if we started an attack, we just ran the same Sova default every round for 9 games. And then losing to you, Jordo, made us change our comp because we were like, fuck, we can't start defense with this comp. But like on attack, we would
It's just
just
an absolute
we would-
masterclass of an IGL from PA.
It really
That's all,
was.
that's
We're
all
just like,
That's all
we
it
were like,
was.
shit. Like Q's gonna test this. Like they were like, we were like, oh my god, they're going out A. That's not allowed. But like we were just
I
doing the
literally
same
said,
default.
I said, let's just run it down at him.
Yeah, that was the calendar.
Hey, that's the LG IGL, the LG Mythic. That's how we IGL our rounds. Run it
Yeah.
down A, run it down B.
Yeah, like
Like,
sometimes
I
like
think
I was just
switching
you can like overcook on AGL, and I think a lot of people do that. And so like and it's much easier if
I
you
was
can
a
just come up
victim.
with like a simple like strategy. And against LG, like I think literally the only thing that we were keying off of was util, and if we didn't see certain util, we were just gonna W key at A. And if we heard it, then we'd instantly just take off towards the other direction or something along those lines.
You're
And
a great
somehow
IGL in the making.
oh, well, if I'm playing Sentinel, at least I can shoot back.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, it was yeah. You guys had a great team. I mean, Skeptic. I put you as my number one on numbers now that the voting's already out and stuff. So congratulations.
Thank you.
You were a fun player to play against and to try to I took some of your tech that I saw on some of your Sentinel games to like put in my own bag. So it's always cool to see like players that have cool play styles that you can kind of try to learn from. Um, so
I think that's another thing is, again, it goes back to drafting because I was supposed to play duelist this season, and then we saw Moose. We picked up Moose in draft. I think fifth round. I thought
Yeah, pick 51. So I think that was round 4.
round four, round five. So
yeah.
in combines when I had seen Moose, he was playing Reyna and he wasn't really talking a lot, and I'm like, huh,
Did not
he's
draft.
good aim, but yeah, he's not talking. And then I saw him play the pre, and that's where we had drafted him after we ran out of picks, or after we ran out of our top 5 picks. And we played the first preseason game with him, or I saw him play the first preseason game. I'm like, wait, he's insane. And he was vibing immediately, like it was like a different person playing. So we put him on Duelist, and that worked out perfectly because we played Lotus on Pearl majority of the maps, and I
Yeah,
switched to Sentinel.
I don't know why people kept letting you guys play Pearl. That was
Oh yeah,
crazy. Like we would instant ban it every time. We're like,
Hmm.
well, we're playing LG, just ban Pearl.
Yep.
That was my thought process. Thought that it was a smart thought process. You guys were good on every map, really. I mean, just to be
It,
blunt, but like Pearl, like you were the best Pearl players, like by far. And every team's like, oh, our Pearl's good. We can play LG on this. And it's like,
it's like,
no, they're number one seed now because of you guys. Like,
yeah.
because you guys
Well,
let them play Pearl every game.
one thing I'll add on to what she said was like going into the season, because we drafted Ghost second, right? Like second pick.
Mm-hmm.
But then this guy's like, I'm in South America for a whole month, 4 weeks, I'm gone. And we're like, ah, shit. And the plan was always to put him back in because he's insane. But initially, it was just we play with Moose for like 4 maps or whatever, 4 matches, and then we just bye bye Moose, and we put Ghost in. But the further along the season went, it just became so clear that like Moose is just not a replaceable player.
Mm-hmm.
He just the fragging that he can bring is just so reliable and good. And Ghost slots right in if unfortunately we had to take out Zora. Rest in peace, my guy.
Mm.
But it worked out perfectly. And the fact that we were able to just slide him in so easily and just as disciplined as everyone else was super good.
I love hearing what you had to say about Eon too, because like me and Jordo played with him last season, and I mean I wouldn't say he ever tilted, but like if he ever did, I guarantee you none of us found that shit funny. Uh, but dude, when you were saying like uh oh like if he makes a mistake, he fixes it and moves on and like does something even better.
yeah, takes it on the chin. Yeah,
Like that's huge. Last season, I heard him like mid match be like, "Yeah, oh, that's my bad, guys. My bad, my bad." Like,
yeah,
"Oh, my
yeah.
bad, my," like so much. It
Yeah.
was like the
He
go-to
said
thing.
that a lot.
It-
Yeah.
oh my god, it was driving me up a wall. I love Eon, but oh my god. And like you said, he would make up for it, but oh, dude, I was like, dude, if I have to hear you say my bad one more time, bro, like please get a new saying. But but
If he
so
kept saying it, we would just tell him to shut up, and Aqua would also just stop flaming him, so he would shut up.
Oh yeah,
But
but I don't have
Yeah.
a problem with playing my players.
Yeah.
oh, I know.
I think that's like also too, I think like Eon, just because of his dedication that you guys were talking about kind of earlier, I think like his dedication and his like competitive drive to like not finish 10th after his first season in the league, like really kind of drove him to like what he's became now. And I think his mental's gotten like a lot stronger too. Like the joking aside about the tilting and stuff, like I think he kind of
Yeah.
turns it into like a positive thing in his own mind, even if he like lets it out externally to where his teammates might hear it, because he did the same thing kind of in
You're good for 2
season
here, at
season
least.
6. Yeah, we're like, Eon's getting 2 this round because he just
That's not what I was
yelled in the
referring.
yelled in the mic. Oh yeah. That was a good moment. Yeah, Uckler, I don't know if you ever heard about that. We were playing in a match one time. Paco was like the last one alive or something, and you could hear like a whole horde of zombie footsteps through the walls coming after him. And Eon's like, "You're good for 2 here at least," in the middle when Dan's about to engage in a gunfight, and Dan just whiffs and dies. And we're like, "Dude, why are you even commenting that?"
Bro, he's giving you
It was too
confidence,
funny.
man.
It was so funny. Like it was just
Bro,
like
what?
out of nowhere. And then Paco had that one great comm season 5 too, where I think you were holding like a Odin or something, and
Tree. Or
Paco's
what the
like,
fuck
tree,
did I say?
tree, foot, bathroom, short, foot.
I do remember that. Yeah, that was the worst comment I've ever heard, I think.
Like,
Bro, what when
uh,
I play with Eon, I just imagine there's like this rage bar above his head, and then it just fails increments the more he mauls, and then when it reaches max, he just 1v9'd. Like
That's
when
awesome.
he entered grand finals max rage
It's
already.
true.
He was already mad, which was just like, it's just GG. This kid's just gonna kill everyone.
dude, that is exactly how Cole or Elusive is as a player as well. Like
Yeah.
I remember in the league before, whenever I kind of mentioned like, oh, these guys should all come play. Just in the league we don't mention. Um, and he's like, yeah, yeah, sure. But in that league, like, and he's continued to develop his like mental attitude in the game extremely well. Compared to like then till now, and it's been less than a year probably. But I remember there's periodically times in a game where we'd be playing with like a player that's like bronze, and then there's plat players playing together on this
Yeah.
team, and the skill discrepancy is quite high there, especially
Yeah.
when they haven't played in a team setting. And Cole would like get pissed at like one of our bronze players for doing something just totally stupid, and I'm like, fair enough, bro. Like it's a terrible play, and he would just go silent for a round, and all of a sudden you see Cole across the map lurking. He gets a 4K, and then he comes back to comms, and it was like that's like me and Rafa would like see the rage bar fill up, and we're like, oh yeah, Cole's getting 4 here, and that was like the running joke of our team, which was so funny. It's some players can turn it into like such a positive thing, and like that's like really the recipe for success if you do get if you are passionate and competitive,
Yeah.
because some people just can't. Some people it's just such a killer to them in their team.
Hey,
Well,
dude, sorry, I just want, dude, did you experience that? 'Cause I didn't hear about that elusive rage bar when I signed him. Were you, did you feel that when you were playing with him?
He didn't do it as much, honestly.
No.
We could
Yeah.
tell that he was getting a little frustrated sometimes because his comms would shut down.
Like when
But
did they shut down when he pied in Snoop Dogg?
no, he kept vibes high the whole time. I couldn't believe it. He's 4-20. I'd be pissed.
I
I'd
didn't
be
know,
pissed.
I didn't know Cole Snoop Dogg. Oh no.
Yeah,
Yeah,
What
he
is
in
pied
the
Snoop
into
match
Dogg?
Snoop
against
Dogg.
Cha on
420.
Pearl, he pied,
Oh.
bit Snoop Dogg, then him and Zoo 2v5 the last round in overtime.
Dude, that's what I'm
That's
saying,
awesome.
man. Like he eventually hits this point where uh the frustration from the game, like it just locks him into a whole nother level, and like he turns into like an immortal player, like for like sometimes he can bridge together like 6 rounds where he's getting 3K after 3K after 3K, and
Yeah.
it's like rare that people actually could turn that into like such a positive thing.
I mean, he dropped 30 against LG this season, I think,
Yeah.
on
Fake news.
Abyss.
Nah, fake news.
I don't remember that.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
Fake
I don't
news.
remember that.
I
He was
remember him having a crazy game.
It was against
No,
some
no,
team
he was on LG in his
on
LG.
Abyss.
Oh, okay. Well, I probably remember that then.
Yeah. Laser teammate.
But I mean, that's kind of a perfect segue to the question that I wanted to revisit, though. That pickup was so late. Maybe like just before trade deadline,
They're like
or
the
if
match
it
list, I
even
think.
was a trade, maybe it was just a pickup and it was after
Yeah.
trade deadline or what. But what's that like basically changing the roster at the very last second. I mean, I guess I have some experience with it because we did the same thing, but I want to hear your perspective of, adding someone onto the team like the very end of the season and then making a run and obviously winning in the end.
At first, honestly, I was like, "Oh, we're cooked. We're cooked." Not because he's bad or anything, but like because you need team chem.
Yeah.
But then right before he joined, I think we lost. We were like 2-0. We got 2-0 like 2 times in a row. So we wanted to switch it up, and what we really needed is like a good initiator, and for me to swap off smokes so I can be like a supporting initiator. And then Cole fit that role perfectly. He came in here with his Sova lineups, his KO knife lineups. He had it all. He was the whole package. So he
That's
joined.
awesome.
It was me and him on initiator, and then Wander made the switch to smokes, which honestly I think fits him.
The glaze goes
But
too far.
no,
We
it
can't
was
just
good.
lie. We can't just straight up lie.
No, yeah,
I will
it
add to
was good
that.
though.
I will add to that Cole thing is, how Eon had something to prove after being 10th last season. Cole also had something to prove after
Yeah.
the season he was having. And I think he got a perfect chance because it was end of the season. He had enough time to rest, reset. And I think that helped our team too, because our team, like Z was saying, that they lost 2-0 like 2-3 times in a row. So they both got that fresh refresh that they needed, and somehow worked out.
Yeah,
We,
that was I was really happy for Cole. I'm a good friend of him, and
Yeah.
as an AGM, I didn't really want to let him go, but just with the circumstances,
yeah,
um,
there's what it is
I
sometimes.
I I
Yeah,
wanted
that
to
happens.
I wanted to give him as fresh of a start as we could, and um, just because it's not yeah, I mean it worked out well for him, and I was happy for him that he won. I mean he deserved it. I mean he's worked really hard, so. It was cool. It was cool to see multiple players that we had interfaced with that season in Apprentice have their own success. Royal went on and had a good season at Cha. They made a playoff run, and then Cole obviously too, winning a championship. So it was cool to see that at least we had the right idea with those kind of players. It's just the roster on paper looked better than it did in game for us there, but.
Yeah, I will say thank you for cutting him, because when I looked, because we were thinking about making a move, but then it was kind of forced on us because of external circumstances.
Mhm.
And when I looked at the FA pool, I was like, ooh.
Yeah,
Doesn't fit at all.
that's why our cut we had to use the waiver cut, which was the first time I found out the entire time that that's ever been used in the league,
Dang.
where you
I
cut somebody via
Oh
waiver.
yeah, right.
I've considered doing it
Trendsetters.
before. No, it's definitely been done in Prospect before. Okay, whoever told you that is lying.
Oh well, we got a
It's
bunch of
been done in
liars
Prospect
and
because
leaders.
I had a player. I had a player yoinked for me when I tried to claim them because liars. But like, I'm looking at the free agent pool. I'm like, oh my god, it's so cooked.
No,
But
we had the same thought process too when we were looking because like Cole was we were talking to Cole
Those
and Cole's like, yeah,
conversions, man.
yeah, the conversions were clutch. When we got Yustin,
Yeah.
and we were like, dude, Cole, like, you're a hard player to replace, and this free agent pool, we're gonna not stand a chance if we get rid of you in playoffs. So I was like, maybe you can stick through it. And then we saw conversions were happening, and then we came to an agreement, and Cole was super graceful in allowing us the extra bit of time in that process, which was really cool too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was
if you, yeah,
yeah, the
no,
free agent pool was quite thin in areas that people seem to really need on a lot of different franchises this season. It looked like it was very heavy in one particular area, and the rest was very thin.
if you think about it, like a small portion of that trophy is yours. You did this.
True. Give me my trophy,
Dude,
Badman.
I so this season's apprentice championship was like very like win-win for me because if HT won, then I could be like, yeah, the only reason we lost was because we lost a team that won. And additionally, if High Tide won, I would like Yin, for example, my former teammate wouldn't have a championship like without me, and now it wouldn't look like it was partially my fault that we came in last place, because as soon as I'm gone, they're 10th. But then if LG won, then hey, my boys won. Cole won, Yin won, so we're good there. But there I was cool with either outcome. Maybe I was a little bit disappointed that LG won a championship without me, but it is what it is, and I'm happy for my boys.
True. Yeah, no, it was cool. I think just like being Uklar was the first person, the only org that I've ever been drafted by coming into the league. Like no matter what, I always root for LG. Like whenever I wasn't playing them, and as far as like FM, just because there's just a bunch of good people over there, and it's cool to see the stuff that you guys have been doing over there and having success. It's very cool to see. I mean, remind me again, when was your first championship that you won, Aklar,
We won.
as franchise management?
We won the very first tier in VDC. Apprentice season 1 finished first, and we won that as the 5th seed.
Well, you weren't GM though.
I was AGM, but I was effectively. I mean, at that time, me and Alf were like
Yeah,
co-running
that's
it.
fair.
But I
Yeah.
mean, I've been here the whole time. Okay.
He was planning to
I've been
usurp.
here the whole time.
Yeah, and how did the team name and kind of concept come about? Like Light Garden, like how?
Whoa! This is getting into history of the org stuff.
Yeah, you're stealing his shit.
Dude, sorry,
Wrong
we're a
content,
hive
wrong
mind, bro.
content.
You can't even be mad at me, man.
I mean, I will say, Alf came up with the concept, and then I don't know, like the color plus flower name, we were just spitballing, and it just came out. Like it just happened. I
Cool,
didn't
I mean,
want. I didn't want to go with like the abbreviation LG. Come like Alf, bro. Have you heard of Luminosity Gaming?
Luminosity,
it's the
yeah.
same thing. And he's like, I don't care. And I'm like, okay, fuck it. It is what it is.
No, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, we can't say that you use like Chat GPT or something to come up with these names, just because of I
It
don't
didn't
think it was
exist
really
back then.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am
that
happy.
really
I am
wasn't
happy.
popular back then.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're
Well,
in the clear there.
Was it like
Speaking of names
2
though,
years ago.
and like how you came up with them, Drillium, that's a sick name. How'd you come
Mm.
up with that?
Bro, so I was like 12 and it was 12 or 13, and Skyrim had just came out. Do the math for the age, and then
somebody do
I
it,
was like,
please.
I was like, I need a cool like fucking like character name that would like sound like that like kind of like fantasy like style time period thing. So I was just like going up because my name is Josh. And so I was just going off of like J names, and I was just like, I just like said Jerillium, and I was like, all right, yeah, that's it. And then I just ran with that as my like Skyrim name, and then as the years go on, I just had a Jerillium, man. Yeah.
Bro, I thought your name was
Dude,
Jerry
when I
this
was
whole
12,
time.
13,
That's okay.
my name was Dan the Man.
Dan.
So-
And the man.
So I
That's-
mean, you
that's
get some
fire.
creative points there.
You should have kept that, man. You should have. That's a fire name. What do you mean?
I'd like to think that I have one of the cooler names in VDC.
What, Jordo?
No,
that's a
bring
good
it to him,
thought
hashtag
process.
bang, bro.
Jordo's kind of mid.
I think bring it to him. Hashtag bang's pretty fire.
But like you have to say the bang part
Yeah,
with
you have to
emphasis,
say the
or
bang.
You
else
have to
it
say,
doesn't
like,
have
outside
any
the-
of like.
Yeah,
the-
that's honestly a lore that Uklar started, because like you and Paco were the ones that started
That
that
is
on the
true.
season 5
That is
team.
true.
And like then everyone just kind of carried it on, and now people do that. Like VK
like, how
does
can
it
you not?
now.
Yeah.
And I know, yeah. And the
it's
funniest part
bang.
is like I started out playing, and I just was like genuinely was only a Brimstone player, and I just used op only, and I just called the op the Hemi because it was like the big gun.
Oh
You're
my-
so you're so yeah,
I never heard the story.
what
That's how like the lore
fuck?
became about. I was like, oh, dude, I should change my name to Brimmy at the Hemi, and then I don't know why, but I just typed bang in capital letters because like that's the noise that the Hemi makes, and so I was like,
That's the
boom,
decision you ever made.
we'll call her quits there, and now like that's like part of the curse, bro. Is like I'll load into a comp game, we'll have our insta
Mhm.
locks, and they're like, oh, you're playing Brimstone, right? And it's like, shit, man, I don't play Brimstone.
And you can never change that name ever. It's
Mm.
No,
too
I
iconic.
know. Yeah, I have to keep it. So that's the problem. That's why my rank games are so cursed. Um, so now I just
What's the
get
name?
forced on the controller. Yeah, I get forced on the
Oh,
controller all
oh.
the time. And so like I start insta-locking Cypher and every game
Insta-lock,
it's like,
yeah.
"Oh, you insta-lock Cypher, your name's Brimmy." That's kind of misleading. Like that's all I hear
Bro, why are
every
you
comp
trolling?
game.
Why are you trolling my rank games,
Dude,
bro?
I mean,
Yeah.
I would expect Zoo to lock Sky every game because like she's got all the animals.
Oh my god.
What?
Nah,
That's-
Hey, how
Uh,
could you not
that's
say?
What?
She's got all the animals. It's great.
Wait,
You
where did
just
your name come
unlocked
from?
the new zoo arc.
honestly, I logged into my Valorant account one day and my name was just changed.
He got hacked,
So
bro.
I just
Wait,
kept
that
it.
ass?
That ass. Like that ass. I didn't.
What was it before? Is it TOF?
What was it? What was it? I think it was
What's
what?
TOF?
Oh yeah. No, what was my name?
There's no way, Riot. You just let Riot do this for you.
It's not even
Never,
right,
I'll
it's
never
an
forget
hacker.
the one
It's a
time
hacker.
I was trying to play
I just
League
kept
of,
it.
I was trying to play League of Legends with Tiberson. Shout out Tiberson. He's a person that gets hated on in the podcast all the time because
Mm-hmm.
he's been one of my best friends for 20
We hate
years.
Tib.
But
Mhm.
the funniest thing about Tib's situation is I was like, bro, you want to play a league? And he's like, yeah, sure. And like he can't log into his account, and he goes and looks, and it says like his account is like region locked to Taiwan because he got hacked by a Taiwanese hacker, and they moved his account on his League of Legends account, and so he lost access to this account for so long, and then he finally was able to get it back after like 3 weeks of like back and forth like litigation with Riot, and they finally like were like, okay.
For litigation.
Pretty much, man. It was like a hellacious process, but then like I've also had like one of my other like real good friends, like he also another League of Legends lore story. These two people used to play like League of Legends, and like my friend got us all into it like back in like middle school, probably like seventh grade, like in like 20 early mid 2000s. And I'm not gonna date myself. I'm a pretty young guy, you know, but Obama was president, I think. Um, do the math there of how old I am. But anyways, the only person that could get the account back because the person was telling him which champs to select, whatever, was the person that didn't even own the account because the person didn't know what skins they purchased or what account like or what champions they unlocked because they have no idea about the game hardly at all. And this dude like just got access to this person's account and then like changed the password back and then said, "Hey, I got your account back." And he's like, "How, dude?" So it's like so inconsistent, like how Riot does the account management stuff. It was intense.
Okay,
But
That's
Jeez.
unlucky. All right. Okay. Now that
So
okay, wait. Sorry. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna try to bring it to a
I-
close.
I just want to know Cheese's name because you know we got
Mm.
Jerilliums, we
Mhm.
got Zeus.
Zoo.
Cheese, how'd you get your
Mhm.
name?
Well, cheese was taken, so I had to put something else. But
Oh, that okay, but like that doesn't mean that doesn't say anything, bro.
I was putting cheese because my girlfriend's name is it was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago now.
It's good thing
And she
Cheese is
already
like
had the
an
name
AI
Pizza.
generated. That's like one of the names that Xbox gives you on free accounts.
Mhm.
I know.
Yeah.
That's what
Say
I
that.
based it off of.
That's awesome.
no, that's funny. But
Um.
yeah,
Oh, you go.
yeah. I mean, you know, we're kind of starting to wrap up here a little bit. You know, the time constraints of the YouTubes and whatnot. But you know, before we go, you know, you guys are the champions of 3 tiers. Do you guys have anything to say? You know, we give you the platform to, you know, talk your shit. You know, I mean, I know Uklar's gonna take advantage of this, so.
Yeah. Hey, what is it possible that you guys win a ship in all 4 tiers? I mean, come on. Is it happening?
I thought that was gonna happen in season 3, but then
Yeah,
the team
Yeah,
I
a
was
lot
most
of people
hopeful,
said.
the team I was most hopeful for crashed out, and then the other
Oh
3 won.
no. It's the ones you don't see coming, man.
Like, yeah, like this season, Prospect is a victim of unfortunate circumstances that were just out of everyone's control. I mean, it's definitely possible. If I do that, oh, bro, it'll be so good. Everyone will be so mad.
I feel like I retire off a season like that. I mean, that's literally the peak.
It is peak, but I mean,
You got to be playing
gotta
on
have
one of the
s-
teams when you do it, though.
I do have 100% grand finals appearance rate.
That's true. Yeah, you took a hiatus
Yeah.
and
Would
you
have been
came
win
back.
rate.
Yeah, but that's
What
too much
happened?
effort. That's too much effort. Bro, I didn't even want to play this season, but I was forced to because the low MMR, there were like no low MMR expert options. So I'm like, well, she's just is bullying me to make it be me. So I'm like, okay. I guess I'll play and get flamed for bottom fragging every game.
So you're telling me I might have had a roster spot if I would have stayed?
No, because Sentinel.
Oh, that's fair. I mean, you clearly
No, he
saw how
just
good my
doesn't like
breach
you.
was.
Yeah, that's tough.
Did you Snoop Dogg in our game?
We also needed an
Did I
IGL.
Snoop Dogg in your
Yeah.
game? No,
I feel
I
like I
didn't
remember
Snoop
you
Dogg.
going 420 on breach.
No, I didn't. I never went 420.
Man,
Yeah, probably
it was close.
420 and 20.
I
That's
remember, I mean, hey, play the clip. I'm just kidding, but I remember having like 4K with a Marshall on an eco round against you guys in that game.
Valid.
He
I was
pulled out
playing
his little
terrible,
Hemi.
but we were winning, and I was playing terrible because this is like fresh in the season where I'm IGLing for the first time and off rolling for the first time. So my gun game just went, but like my team was doing all right, so it was okay. And I just remember like I was doing terrible. I was like, man, I'm trolling right now. Like this is the worst I've ever played in a VDC match. And then all of a sudden, I have a Marshall whip out a 4K, and I was like, man, I can't believe I just did that to LG just because like you guys were like one of the best teams. I was like, let's go. But yeah, I was worried that I was gonna pie or Snoop Dogg that game. I won't lie. Like it was a thought in my head the entire time. I was like, and they're like, dude, it's okay. You're like our Zelsis, bro. And I'm like, dude, that does not help.
I was never, bro, I was never called Zelsis. I was just called bad.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
We all had
valid,
good
though. I
vibes.
mean-
We all also had good vibes.
Yeah, man, I was like, I'm way too competitive just to be the Zelsis. Like, I want to actually have impact other
Just to
than
be
just
the
like talking
Zelsis.
in the microphone, you know? Like, I had like I had like no kills the first half of that game.
I will drop one last piece of lore. On the last match day of the season,
Oh my god.
we won map 1 and we secured first place in expert. So map 2, we decided to have a little fun. We all
Oh,
picked
God.
just off-roll agents, and it was IGL roulette. I was muted the whole game, did not say a word, and each round only one person can talk. And we
Did you win?
I was 16-5 at one point, and we won 13-5.
And last 3 rounds, no one talked. We could only type.
Yeah,
So,
we
Yeah.
muted completely second half. Nobody said a single word.
That'll be in the history of the orgs video for
I
sure.
have the VOD. It was so funny.
Yeah, we did like a roulette since we were eliminated in expert, and like we almost beat Mox on Lotus with a Sage like just a triple Cinti, like it was like a chamber, a Sage, and uh a Killjoy or something, and we almost won somehow. It was like pretty remarkable because the defense on that triple Cinti comp was just insane. Like it just worked really well on those, and we're like, dude, wait, maybe this is new tech.
Bro, that team has no game plan. They just run. Were they running the Sova comp?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy, bro. When I saw, okay, I'm gonna rant a little bit here. I was playing Sova like the whole season on Lotus, right? No, the Sova was good. It was practiced. And then we beat him, and then he swaps the Sova the next like however many times they play Lotus. I didn't see a single lineup from this guy, and they didn't take any of our strats. I'm like, bro, why are you playing Sova when you have absolutely zero clue why? I was so mad every time I would watch him play Sova.
Dude,
Is
imitation is the best form of what is that?
but
what's
it
the
wasn't
saying?
Flattery.
imitating me. They didn't do
Flattery,
yeah.
anything I did.
Didn't we beat you when you had the Sova or no?
Yeah, but we started defense. That's different.
Yeah,
When
I
we
know.
would
Like
start
every time we'd see you lob that dart over into A main, we were like, "Where's he spraying with an Odin this time?" Like we were worried about it every time.
Bro,
It
when
was funny.
when we would start attack, geez, we would average like 10 rounds, right?
Yeah, 10-9 rounds at least.
Yeah. There were a few games where we were just like, are we going 13-0?
And then you said it and you jinxed it every time. It was very fun.
He did that in season 5 too. He's like, "Holy shit, the goose egg's on the table here. We'd lose the next round or something."
Okay, I would not say those
What
words.
the fuck?
I've
never heard him
I've
say
never
that.
heard that
in my life.
before.
It wasn't that exact phrasing. That was a
I
Broomy phrase, but
never
like
said
that
that.
was
Golly
like
gee,
Unclar.
the goose egg is now on the table.
That was a Brimmy com phrase for sure. But like
That is
Unclar
me.
definitely has jinxed us before. I won't lie.
That is too funny,
You can't
bro.
tell me I wouldn't have said something like that during that season too. I mean, those were the
Well,
most
yeah, you
unhinged
would say
comms.
something like that. I would not.
Okay, maybe I did it.
Yeah, those cons were fun, man. But any other last words before we sign off?
All I'm gonna say is people might be looking at LG Mythic and being like, "Oh, your carry's gone, Electron's gone." We got plans. And we're not falling off for next season.
You have a Gerilium.
Duh. We got a
Yeah,
Parkzilla.
Well, you got a skeptic
Park-
cheese and
Park-
an Eon probably too.
Hey, we'll see, man. We'll see. But I'm excited for the next season. Rumored coming up in April, right?
Rumored.
Like the
Yes.
That's what the streets
Yes.
are saying.
There have been no
I'm
leaks
just-
from me. Want to make it
No.
clear, I've said nothing.
Well, the
Sorry, sorry. I'm not fully PR trained yet, even though I've been admin for a season. Yeah.
I
But yeah.
cannot confirm or condone any of the actions of my fellow comrades in the call. I did not say anything, VDC. I just want to make that clear. We have
But
two
yeah.
Hey,
ADMs.
I just said that
we're
yes,
admin,
that
they're
is the rumor that's going around. I didn't say
Mhm.
that's what actually was going to happen.
I
Yeah,
didn't know
exactly.
this was an happening, so.
VDC. I think we got clear evidence here that LG leaks.
Get him out.
Yeah, get him out of here.
Just ban the whole team. Get them out of here.
But yeah, no, congratulations on the success. I'm sure we'll probably talk to an LG team next season based on the trends. So I wish you the best of luck, and thanks for your time here tonight. It was a lot of fun and a bit chaotic at times. We probably didn't follow the script hardly at all, other than here and there, but that's what makes these conversations fun. So
Yep.
Oh yeah, man.
Scripts are boring.
It was a good time.
Ignore.
Thank you
Thanks
guys
for
for
inviting us.
yeah, thank you for having me on here. Get to
Yeah,
yap a
dude,
little
thanks
bit.
for the last minute sub.
Yeah,
no
when-
problem. No problem.
Bro, I can't believe the Yin guy. Like,
This is what
I
he
asked
did in
Pulling a
VDC.
page out of
I
Blundering
asked
his book.
I asked him,
Yeah, straight up.
do you know how he responded to me? He said, and I quote, "I would be honored." And yet this guy hasn't said a goddamn thing since I messaged him 2 hours before this started.
Well,
Make it make sense.
He's never on time. He's got to get
Yeah,
used to
but
it.
like he said the word honored. I thought that meant something.
Dude,
Oh,
whenever
man.
he missed, whenever
Maybe
he
he didn't want the
overslept he overslept the matches earlier in the season, and I was like, bro, somebody had to carry Blundering's weight since Blundering's not on LG anymore, and he's like, dude.
Bro, Wanderer would spam call his cell phone. I
Oh
think
yeah.
that was like his whole job.
Yeah, it's like a staple thing. If you're on the apprentice team, make sure you get cell numbers of people because there's going to be one person on this team that's probably going to have a sleeping problem that you're going to need to find an emergency sub for. So that's just a little disclaimer. Unless Uckler's on the roster, then it's all good.
Smile.
So,
Miles.
but anyway, so thank you guys again, and VDC. Until next time, we will see you with next episode, potentially when the season's starting back up, potentially not, with some more winners. we got one more winner to talk to here.
I
So
wonder who that could be.
Mm.
I don't know. With my
Hmm.
calculations, it's probably L7. I'd have to
Bro,
guess.
I have no idea. My team finished last. You think I'm paying attention?
Classic.
Classic.
It's always in the books.
Mhm.
But
You think I
Yeah.
can read?
maybe see you next season. Maybe see you soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, find out next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whenever.